Hello and a very warm welcome to Snetterton Circuit for the opening event of the 2016 BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship. This championship for 14 to 17-year-olds, you don't have to have racing experience to come in, but most of the drivers that are racing with us do have that experience in karting. They've moved up from karting into car racing, but as I say, you don't have to have it. One driver who's got some racing experience under his belt from last year is Elliot Wilson. He's on pole. Newcomer James Waite alongside. Then it's Carlito Moracco and Callum Hawkins-Rowe. Harry Gooding lines up fifth from Danny Harrison, then Jack Davidson and Ronan Quinn. Lachlan Bierman and Cameron Pugh row 5, followed by Bradley Burns and Lewis Kent. James Hillary and Angus Dudley, followed by Ben Swift, Christopher McKenzie and Sikander Hussain. Sikander not getting a time in qualifying, did do free practice. We've got orange cars front and back of the grid, and Elliot Wilson is on pole position. James White, Elliot Wilson gets a great start, but problems in yellow for Ronan Quinn. Very good avoidance by the drivers that started behind him. But as they come down to Riches for the first time, it's Elliot Wilson that leads. Second position is James Waite, followed by Carlito Moracco, the black and red car of Harry Gooding. And in orange from the back of the grid to fifth in one corner is Sikander Hussain, followed by Danny Harrison in red, but there's a spin in red as well for Cameron Pugh. Clouts the barrier, comes back onto the track, and goes into the side of Lewis Kent. So Lewis Kent is out, so too is Cameron Pugh. Not the way we wanted to start for those guys. Plenty of time, in theory, for the officials or the marshals to clear up that incident, because it's a 3-mile lap, bar a little bit, 2.9689 miles around the 300 circuit, which utilises this infield section where the cars are now. And up into second place has gone Carlito Moracco. So it's Wilson now from Moracco as we look down the order. Angus Dudley in the second of the yellow cars. The yellow and blue car going through is the one that had problems getting off the line. That was Ronan Quinn. And Ronan is chasing Ben Swift, who started a fair way back down the order. So Ben's made some good progress, but not quite as good as the man out front. Here is Elliot Wilson in car number 22. Races up towards Williams, the right-hander, which brings them onto the back straight, the Bentley straight. It's going to be flat out down into the left-right Brundle-Nelson complex. So Sikander Hussain in orange still ahead of Danny Harrison. Then we've got the white and blue car of Jack Davidson, teammate of race leader Elliot Wilson. But the red flags are out, so the clear-up operation is going to take longer than we thought, and the cars will be re-gridded and give all the youngsters a chance to take a second start here at Snetterton, whilst the cars of Cameron Pugh and Lewis Kent are attended to. Set for the restart here at Snetterton. So Elliot Wilson, the first one was a practice start, he's got to do it all again. James Waite alongside row 2 Carlito Moracco and the Jam Sport car, white and green, of Callum Hawkins-Rowe. And this time a good start made by Ronan Quinn in yellow, doesn't get bogged down, so he'll be grateful for that restart. But away we go, and it's Elliot Wilson who leads into Riches for the first time. Side by side there, the 41 car of Callum Hawkins-Rowe, but there's contact again. I spoke too soon about Ronan Quinn, who was right in the mix, and there was a bit of contact and he's off the road. But out front, Elliot Wilson is clear, and a spin there as well for Danny Harrison, who was up the front end and now finds himself right the way down the back if he can rejoin. So disappointment for him. James Waite's got away in second position. So Carlito Moracco, I think by this stage on the first start, was into second position. Yes, he was, but he's down in third place at the moment. And Sikander Hussain, another driver who hasn't really done too well out of the restart, because he was up to fifth by the time they exited Riches on that first start, and he's got a fair amount of work to do. Currently chasing Bradley Burns in car number 9. Bradley, who just did 3 meetings with us last year, 2015 season, best of 8th place at Silverstone. as we look at James Hillary in the number 4 from Shipton. Lives near Snetterton. This is very much his home race and a nice way for him to open his car racing account with us on home circuit. No doubt lots of home support, family and friends coming to cheer him on. But it's Sikander Hussain who's in front of him in 15. Sikander's best result last year was 5th position, but Elliot Wilson is out front at the moment, still from James Waite. Carlito Moracco in white, the ginger Italian he's known as, and then Callum Hawkins Rowe in the Jam Sport 41. Now, if you're watching the Junior Championship last year, you'll know that the 41 car was a Jam Sport. I'll come back to that issue in a minute as we go in car with Lachlan Beerman, the 14-year-old from Essex, 5 times kart titleist, running with Cooper Motorsport. Qualified 9th on his Fiesta Junior debut. Got driving standards flag going out. Not sure who that is for, but might be track limits perhaps, or maybe some contact, and we'll let you know if that affects the result at the end of the race. But there is Jack Davidson. Now, Jack Davidson, the race leader's teammate. The team is Race Car Consultants, which is run by double senior Fiesta champion David Elsley, and Jack Davidson coming all the way down from Falkirk to race because at the present time at Knock Hill, which is the Scottish racetrack, there isn't a junior championship that you can compete in circuit racing in, although I think several parties have had a look at maybe trying to do that. There's Bradley Burns in the red number 9, the youngster from Alton, and still out front it's Elliot Wilson as we look at Sikander Hussain going through, and then Jack Davidson followed by Bradley Burns. So Bradley started in 11th place, heading up towards the left-hander at Hamilton. There is the Rotherham-based youngster Sikander Hussain, son of Sagir Hussain, and you just saw Ronan Quinn's car parked up, the yellow and blue machine, which is out after a slow start first time and then contacts going off. But this is the race leader. Elliot Wilson comes from West Malling, which is coincidentally the home of the British Racing and Sports Car Club, who administer and organise the championship. And this has been a great drive from the Deloitte-backed car thus far. Elliot was 4th last year at Snetterton, so probably his best result. Debuted at Rockingham in 2014, just did 2 meetings at the end of the 2014 season to bed himself in, did a full season last year, and he's got a very handy lead indeed. So Elliot Wilson, having had the car rebuilt and sorted over the winter months by Race Car Consultants, and the RCC team running numbers 21 and 22 this weekend. Wilson also fastest lap of the race, so average speeds of these cars around here knocking on towards 80 miles an hour average. If you're worried about, if you've got a youngster who's watching this programme, remember this is for 14 to 17 year olds. If you've got a youngster that wants to race this, there are plenty of teams that can help out. Jam Sport, Race Car Consultants, Daniels Motorsport. You can be a privateer, prepare the car yourself as well. But full training is available, and there are an awful lot of very experienced, sensible race instructors that can coach the youngsters into the racing, and obviously they won't let the youngsters go racing until it's safe to do so. They have to pass a racing driver's test. But look at this superb turn of speed by Elliot Wilson, who wants to follow in the wheel tracks of last year's champion, which is Aaron Thompson. Aaron's moved on into the senior championship this weekend, and I was starting to talk about Aaron earlier on because there is a number 41 Jam Sport prepared car, Callum Hawkins Rowe. Jam Sport won the championship last year with Aaron Thompson in number 41, and Aaron staying with the Fiesta Championship and hoping to be the first driver to move from juniors into seniors and win successive titles, and his qualifying pace has been very good indeed. But this is the man who wants to emulate what Aaron did last year. Elliot Wilson, the race leader, and very clear. He's got a lead of over 5 seconds at the moment. This is the end of the straight, comes into Brundle, turns left, and then round into Nelson, which is the right-hander, sweep through the bomb hole, which you'll see very shortly. And, well, there's the sign which tells you where it is. And then it's the very long sweeping right-hander of Coram, which brings them up to the 90-degree Murrays, which is a left-hander, brings them back onto the Senna straight. Named after Ayrton Senna, who raced here in the, and I think his team were based here back in the Formula 4 2000 days. And Elliott Wilson has got no problems at all. He's going to be absolutely delighted with the race pace of the car and his own driving. This is the Senna straight, so along the straight we go. Pit signals there, and there's the checkered flag. Elliott Wilson takes his first win. His previous best was 4th place here at Snet. He takes his first win. The ginger Italian Carlito Maracco is next from James Waite. Harry Gooding from Sikander Hussain, then Jack Davidson and Bradley Burns, James Hillary from Lachlan Bierman, Ben Swift 10th from Danny Harrison and Angus Dudley, and Lewis Kent and Christopher Mackenzie complete the finishers.
No, it was really good. It's the perfect start to the season. Pole position and a first. My first start was really great. I got far ahead, but the red flag came out, and I was worried for the second start. But the inside line gave me the good line for the first, and I managed to just drive it home from there.
It's brilliant. I'm so happy. You know, this is the car we had the accident in. You know, it's been rebuilt, and it's taken this long to get it out there. And you know what? To be out there and just to sort of prove everybody wrong, what everybody's been saying. To do that for me is like a win, and I don't really care. I don't really care about a second, third. It could have been anywhere. The car finished the race. We were quick after not a too easy weekend, and you know what? I'm over the moon.
I'm ecstatic. I'm just so lucky to be here. Just thanks to Premier Tyres and my dad for giving me the opportunity to experience Fiestas. But I got off to a good start, but I'm gutted to lose second. But that's all I could do.
So welcome back to Snetterton. Race 2 sees Elliott Wilson starting on pole position, and Carlito Maracco is alongside. The order of the start determined by the race result, race 1. Race 2, James Waite and then Harry Gooding, Sikander Hussain and Jack Davidson on row 3, Bradley Burns and James Hillary completing row 4. They're followed by Lachlan Bierman and Ben Swift, then Danny Harrison and Angus Dudley, Lewis Kent and Christopher Mackenzie on row 7, Callum Hawkins Rowe and Cameron Pugh are next, and the grid completed with Ronan Quinn. Ronan, the first of the non-finishers from race number 1. Here is the view from Riches, the first corner, and a little bit of heat haze here, so ideal conditions. The lights go out and we're underway. In car with Ronan Quinn from the back of the field, and already trying to work his way through. Callum Hawkins Rowe in the Jam Sport car to the right of shot is there as well. Angus Dudley in yellow immediately ahead too, but it's a cracking start by Elliott Wilson. Carlito Maracco not too quick off the start. Sikander Hussain in orange is there as well. Here we go, and past Christopher Mackenzie goes Ronan Quinn. Mackenzie was in the red car to the left, and the race leaders up at the Montreal hairpin. A little bit of a squeeze on between the two cars in front. James Waite and Harry Gooding involved, so Carlito Maracco back in 4th place at the moment, and it's James Waite who goes into 2nd position. This superb field, the championship organisers done a sterling job, and it's really difficult to build and maintain a healthy field in junior racing because the catchment is just 3 years, 14 to 17 year olds, so that means that the entire grid has to be renewed every 3 years. And this is the 5th year of the championship, which started at Silverstone Circuit back in 2012 when Freddie Lee won the opening race of the Formula's history. Charlie Liddell, who's now in Clio Cup, went on to win the championship from Jack Mitchell, who's now sports car racing, and JJ Ross, who of course was last year's senior Fiesta champion, and JJ winning the title in 2013, and was then followed by Jerry Nicosia in 2014, and Aaron Thompson, as we've already mentioned, last year's champion, from Michael Higgs and Nathan Edwards. Nathan also making the move into seniors this weekend. So it's a successful championship. Plenty of moves can be made into other formulae, but let's again focus on what's going on with today's race, which sees Elliott Wilson still out front in the race car consultants machine, coming through into Coram, but under pressure from James Waite, who, remember, is learning his craft. This is James Waite's first meeting. Waite, the youngster from Barking, not too far behind as they come into Murray's. That's Carlito Moracco now in third place. Sikander Hussain is fourth, and we've got a challenge on for fifth position immediately behind Sikander, which I think is James Hillary and also Harry Gooding and Lachlan Behrman in the mix as well. But we go in car with Ronan Quinn once again. Ronan having started right at the back of the grid and has got some work to do. Harry Gooding immediately in front of him. The camera car, incidentally, the yellow and blue car, which you should see in a minute. That's where the onboard footage came from on that occasion. So he's chasing the Daniels Motorsport prepared car of Harry Gooding, entered by KPG Transport, Tor Trucks and MV Commercials. Tor Trucks, good supporters of racing in this country, run by Shane Brereton, who's a pickup truck racing driver running in the British Truck Racing Championship this year as well. Glastonbury concern supporting Harry Gooding, as we look at Danny Harrison still up ahead of the light blue car of Ben Swift, but the race leader Elliot Wilson is coming under pressure here from James Waite. They were just going through shot here at Agostini. This a good overtaking point, and at the moment we've still got Elliot Wilson out front. Carlito Moracco back in third. Here's the view again from Ronan Quinn. It's on the infield section, and this will give you a good idea of how close you can get under braking. Harry Gooding doing a very good job at the moment. Not overly defensive, you've got to say. Harry, I think, recognises that he's got the speed for the moment to stay in front of Quinn. There is James Waite in second position. So the race leader's now coming towards us along the Bentley Straight. This is looking forward from the race leader. Elliot Wilson looking to try and make it a double. Fastest lap in race one into Nelson. Then the right-hander at Brundle. Short squirt down the straight through the bomb hole as we go back and pick up Lachlan Behrman from James Hillary in car number 4. And Ronan Quinn at the back of this quartet with Harry Gooding immediately in front of him. So the 3 black cars all together. And Ronan Quinn's got to try and work out where he can perhaps eke out an advantage over the first of these cars, Harry Gooding. Ronan Quinn, best result of second last year at Castle Combe and Silverstone, 7 times on the podium, so certainly no slouch. And we had good grids last year. I've got a record grid today, and that will no doubt improve over the course of the year because we've got more drivers joining the championship once they attain the age of 14. It's absolutely incredible the job, as I said, the organisers have done. So Lachlan Behrman leading this group. Sikander Hussain's down behind these guys at the moment, so Sikander's lost out a little bit. Oh, and a bit of a wobble on from him there as we go back in car with Quinn. Chasing hard off the circuit has gone Christopher Mackenzie, and I think possibly into retirement to join Danny Harrison out of the race. So Harrison and Mackenzie sadly, I think, in retirement, certainly having problems as we watch the quartet still battling. The lead trio go through. Now this battle is for 4th place. Lachlan Behrman holds on to it at the moment and has got 2 or 3 car lengths clear over James Hillary. And Ronan Quinn's got to try and work out. He needs to, here you can point the car up the inside at Hamilton, but that converts to the outside line at Oggies, which is the next corner. And from Oggies there's a short straight through to Williams, which brings them onto the long back straight. And Harry Gooding holding on at the moment. And Quinn here is doing the sensible thing, not doing anything rash. He's just trying to get closer to the car in front, work out maybe where that car is slower, maybe where the driver isn't perhaps so confident. So they're all being coached. But Quinn is actually, I think if anything, maybe dropped a wee bit of time there on Harry Gooding in front in the 16 car. So Quinn doing the right thing, coming over to, as we were looking down the straight, coming over to the right hand side. There's James Hillary in 14 on his home circuit, trying to close down on Lachlan Behrman. So Quinn still trying to close in through Coram. They go. Fastest laps being traded between Elliot Wilson and James Waite in second. Still in third place is Carlito Moracco. This championship is 16 rounds, winds up at, as is traditional for the Fiesta Junior Championship, at the Formula Ford Festival, which takes place in October, and these guys do have the opportunity to have a drop score. So Quinn, the back of this quartet, the onboard camera that we had running in 7th place at the moment. 8th position is Bradley Burns in car number 9. Then a gap back to Ben Swift, who's being challenged by Cameron Pugh. And then Angus Dudley, and Cameron Pugh in the Lemonade Money car looks down the inside. I think he's got the move done. Angus Dudley wants to try and follow through. So very neat move there. Ben Swift, the back end on Ben Swift's car comes around. Angus Dudley nips up the inside. So Dudley, actually, we're hearing, has potentially got a penalty for a false start. So we'll have to revisit the footage on that at some stage. But time penalties aside, the drivers were all thinking about how they raced with each other and what they achieved in the race itself. You can see we've got the oil flag out there as well. Elliott Wilson onto his last lap, and Carlito Maraco has deposed James Waite down to 3rd. So Maraco 2nd. James Waite, though, at the moment on lap 7 has got the fastest lap of the race. 2 minutes 21. The time's a little bit down on race number 1, but Maraco there, 2nd position. But Elliott Wilson looks like he's going to make it a double. James Waite, if he hangs on to the fastest lap, will be delighted with that, plus another podium. Very definitely marking himself out as a man to watch. But it's the Deloitte-sponsored race car consultants prepared car of Elliott Wilson who leads around Coram, this wonderful corner. And here's the view from Murray's, the last corner on the lap. The gap in race number 1 was 7.6 seconds. Carlito Maraco's taken Elliott Wilson closer in this one. The gap's only about 3.5 seconds on the last lap. But here is Wilson on board. Look for the checkered flag. He knows that he's got a double here at Snetterton to open the 2016 campaign. There's the checker. Wilson makes it a fine double here in Norfolk. 2nd place again to Carlito Maraco. James Waite takes 3rd from Ronan Quinn. Great drive from the back. Got ahead of Harry Gooding, Lachlan Behrman, then James Hillary, Bradley Burns, Cameron Pugh, Ben Swift, Angus Dudley in 11th from Jack Davidson, and Lewis Kent.
I couldn't have hoped for anything more. 2 races, 2 wins, perfect start to the season.
It's points at the end of the day. That's what we came here for. After I haven't had a great history with this place, but before, so to come away with 2 podiums has been fantastic, and I'm just really happy. It's the start of the season. There's a lot more to come, and a lot of different circuits that we're going to this year. So it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to the season. Yeah.
This is my first race, but I'm gutted I couldn't have 2nd. The tyres started to go off towards the end, and I had to have an increase of understeer. But overall, I'm happy with the weekend, and I want to thank Premier Tyres and my dad for giving me the opportunity to experience Fiestas.